If you look at India's map, you will realize that we are very fortunate to have a bunch of hostile neighbors, thanks to whom the Indian Armed Forces don't have a dearth of practice sessions. With these drills, the Indian forces are always war ready. While Pakistan has no credibility left before the world, it is busy running around the globe seeking arms. China, however, has been on a spree of misadventures. Now, before we begin our discussion, let's understand what China is. What is China? China, apart from being a mockery of a nation state, is just a mass detention center controlled by the CCP or the Chinese Communist Party. What does the CCP do? It controls the prisoners, their thoughts, movement, and actions. This was just about inside the territorial boundary. What does the CCP do outside the international boundary? It showcases the might of its empty checkbook and paper army to bully its neighbors. However, this time the paper dragon has messed with the wrong neighbor, that is India. Unlike its other docile neighbors, India has not been very merciful with Chinese aggression, and the past incidents vouch for the same. And now, China is trying to play a double-faced game with India. Hi and welcome to TFIPost. I'm your host Ananya Sharma. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. If you're watching us on Facebook, do like, share and subscribe to the page. Let's begin with the video report. In 1962, India and China fought a war in the Himalayas that culminated in India losing 38,000 square kilometers of territory in Ladakh, today known as Aksai Chin, a blunder for which India is still waiting for the response of Nehru-Gandhi family. Post that, the Chinese themselves came up with the line of actual control or the LAC. However, the Chinese establishment has deliberately kept its own invented LAC unsettled. It crossed all the limits when the Chinese walked into the Indian territory near Galwan. While protecting the motherland from the invaders, 20 brave Indian soldiers were killed in action. While there have been many rounds of talks regarding negotiation, something concrete has not been found. China has been backtracking for months after it realized that it could not even move a whisker. The two countries had agreed to the disengagement of troops in the area of Gogra Hot Springs, also known as Patrolling Point 15 or PP-15. While both countries decided to disengage at the PP-15, there was hope that the talks to resolve the remaining issues along the LAC would be solved soon. At that point in time, we at TFI suggested that although India and China were disengaging near the PP-15, India should not let down its guard. The prediction has become a reality because, as per the latest intelligence reports, China is strengthening its logistical support base at the military garrison in Rutok County on the eastern end of the Pangong Tso. For the ones unversed, after the disengagement took place in the Pangong Tso area, the PLA troops were relocated to this military garrison. The garrison was constructed in 2019 in order to serve as a feeder station for future activity. In the last 20 days, China's PLA has constructed over 85 shelters for its troops in Rutok County. Besides, over 250 temporary shelters have already been built since the first skirmish broke out between the troops of India and China in 2019. To add on, the PLA has been on a spree of constructing tents in more than 5 locations in eastern Ladakh, as well as installing military hardware in Manza, Shikwane, Chiakang, Shandong, and Dahang Liatan. This signifies another Chinese build-up near the border that has the potential to raise New Delhi's eyebrows. The PLA Lilliputians got thrashed by the mighty Indian soldiers so brutally that that nation was forced to beg for peace with India. Wei Fenghe, the Chinese Defense Minister General, had himself invoked the neighborhood card to bring India into China's fold. Li Jiming, the top Chinese diplomat in Bangladesh, has now sung India's praises, declaring that he is a big fan of India. He further added that as per his thinking, India and China can work together closely to solve economic and geopolitical issues. Jiming further said that the most unexpected, although the most cliched line. Jiming said in Dhaka that China does not have any strategic rivalry with India and does not want to see a heavily armed Bay of Bengal. Earlier, China's outgoing ambassador to India, Sun Weidong, made similar statements during his farewell ceremony at the South Block. Sun Weidong said, "It is only natural for India and China to have differences, and they should seek common ground and not allow their relationship to be defined by disagreements. There is enough room in the world for China and India to develop together. While Chinese diplomats and ministers speak softly, the Chinese PLA is erecting tent after tent and strengthening its logistical support in eastern Ladakh. It would not be an exaggeration to state that the paper dragon is laying a trap for India. But dear Chinese, unfortunately, it's not Jawaharlal Nehru but Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the helm of affairs. And this time, India won't fall into your trap. Today's India and its supreme leader are well aware of your strategy of lying, cheating, deceiving, and then buying time when confronted. Let me tell you what China has been doing. First of all, it rejects international world order. Second, all that it excels in is picking land masses from the border areas and declaring them its own, thus giving rise to another dispute. While China lies isolated in the globe, such that an organization acting on its whims and fancies was hell-bent on releasing a report on its atrocities against Uyghur Muslims, India is prepared on both diplomatic and military fronts. In a strong rebuttal to China, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar recently said that normalization of India-China ties is in the interest of both nations and also the world. Giving a lesson to China on diplomacy, Jaishankar had said that there exist three mutuals: mutual respect, mutual sensitivity, and mutual interest. While the global stature of India stands unmatchable, clearly signaling with whom will the world side. On the military front, while New Delhi holds strong on the LAC, it has decided to conduct several military exercises with the US along with other nations like Japan and Australia on land as well as in the sea. Well, before I end, we need to understand one simple fact regarding why the border dispute at the LAC with China is not resolving. It is simply because Beijing is not at all interested in resolving the dispute and aims to periodically heat up the situation to keep New Delhi's rise in check. However, there is a bad news for China that neither India will blow air to its unnecessary desire at the LAC, nor will it fall for its double-facedness.